I want to talk about rupture and repair in relationship. Tell a story. I'm here on an eco-village design experience up in North Bali. It's a full-time residential course. Um, it's long hours, it's intense, both in terms of content and being around a community of people, communal meals, a lot of time with other people every day for 4 weeks. And at the same time, I'm also here. I'm juggling work. I have coaching clients and courses, and on Wednesday it got to me. I came back after teaching an online class. I I felt a little triggered. I felt the group had moved on. I missed a couple of sessions, and the group was moving on without me. I was feeling left behind, which, yeah, is uh, a story that I have. It hits me very deeply. I was tired, taught a lot over 2 days, and I was far, far from the version of me that I like the most. I was harsh and abrupt and rude, and uh, I have this apparently this like look that I get that's very stony and cold, and um, and I used to think that like it didn't impact. I just people didn't notice me, and after feedback and things, I am really starting to appreciate like how much that energy impacts people in a group, especially as it's different to how I am most of the time. Yeah, I was really bitchy, and including to a couple of people individually. And an older version of me, younger version, previous version, would have got stuck in that loop. Yeah, I would have sensed people moving away from me, and I would assume that I'd broken it, and then I would be full of like self-recrimination. I'd be like beating myself up more, so I'd be withdrawing from the group more, and there we go, off we go on like the little vicious loop of perfectionism. And um, and instead, I chose to do the authentic relating thing. Right, I chose to give myself some grace that I'd had a hard day, that hadn't responded in the way that I wanted to, but that it's never too late. This is what I love about authentic relating. It's never too late to engage in the repair. And so the following morning, like in front of the whole group, I owned it. Like, yeah, I was horrible. I was bitchy. Um, I'm sorry. You know, found myself saying, if my words impact you, I was like, hang on a minute, I'm pretty sure my words did impact people. Like I was harsh, I was abrupt. So I'm sorry. You know, I'm open if people want to talk more and share more impact with me to hear that. And I actually went out and sort out a couple of people individually to apologize um and I was vulnerable. I, shared kind of what was going on for me emotionally. I shared a little bit about like how I was feeling with the group and everything I was juggling, and I could feel the whole group soften. There's this like kind of collective exhale that happened, and everything changed. Yeah, I noticed over the kind of the following couple of days, people like leaning out to me more and like asking for my support and um wanting to engage in conversation with me more. So yeah, I guess like for me, the moral of the story here is like ruptures happen. Whether for me it's hormonal or tiredness, overcommitted, having a bad day, it happens. And I need to be able to give myself the grace to be human, to be messy, and to get it wrong, and to not be the version of myself that I like the most all of the time. I want to aim for that where I can. Like I don't like the fact that I impacted people, but hey, like I'm human. I'm never going to be perfect at this. Where I can commit to is when I have these moments is to commit to the repair, to be humble enough to admit that, yeah, yeah, I was wrong. Um, to let people into my world, to invite them back in. Because at least that's my pattern. Like I push people away in that stoniness. So to invite people back in, and um, it doesn't always work. I will admit that. Like sometimes those ruptures are too serious, or the other person doesn't want to, and that's okay too. Um, but it gives me so much like freedom in my body to know that, it's okay if I get it wrong, because I have these tools that allow me to do the repair afterwards. And the little bit like the wabi sabi, the Japanese art of fixing broken bowls with gold. Like relationships that have been through a rupture and repair are more beautiful to me. There's more trust. Like we did a hard thing together and now we're through the other side. So like I trust you more. It's why I'm like increasingly less conflict avoidant. It still happens. Um, but realizing it's the conflict and the tension, the rupture and repair, like that's what solidifies a relationship over time, makes it more durable, more resilient. Um, so for all of the people out there who, hold themselves back out of a fear of getting it wrong, or beat themselves up for making a mistake in relationship, um, I get you. I really do. And what would it be like to orient more to the repair, to make that the commitment? So rather than trying to be perfect all of the time, to give yourself the grace that you're not going to be, to really show up for the repair process, to commit to being vulnerable and taking the risk to to be humble, to check out the impact that you've had on people, and to trust that that's going to be of benefit to your relationships far more than being perfect in the long run. So I'd love to hear how this lands for you. Um, if you're like, this sounds great, Vix, but I need more tools, then come join me for some authentic relating. I've just released my course dates for the first half of 2025, and I would love to have you, whether it's online with me, in person in Bali, or with some of my incredible colleagues around the world. If you need I'll pop a link in the comments below. But if you need more information, please feel free to reach out, and I can point you in the right direction. Um, and of course, other connection communication practices are available. Authentic relating is my jam. Thanks so much for being here. I will see you next time.